Now listen, I'm going to stop. I just wanted to say, I've said what I want to say basically, but there's someone very special here who's going to take over and say a few words, and that is someone who knows everything, or much more about the Who. Probably a lot of people here, and certainly a lot more than I do. Mark Wilkerson.
Wonderful.
Can you make a comment about my title?
Oh,
I'd just like to thank, I guess, you know, if I get interrupted here, I guess I'll have to step aside. Mike, Tim, Steve, Rob, thanks to you guys for putting this together. And thanks to all of you also for donating to Meg Fox's family. I had the pleasure of meeting Meg at the WHO convention a couple of years ago in London. She was vivacious, friendly. I wrote some notes down because I'll start rambling. She was the biggest thing that struck me was she was a passionate WHO fan. Music meant everything to her, just like it does to us. Thanks for donating. I got a couple of messages. One, the reason I'm drinking this again is I got a message from Irish Jack. I also got a text message from Eddie Vedder. He wanted to, I tried to get him to show up here, but he saved his voice and he said he told everybody to hi to the Who faithful. But I got this. Irish Jack also insisted, despite the fact that we have this electronic device that shows photographs, Irish Jack insisted that I run off copies for everybody, but I'm not going to give them to you now because you'll just be reading it while I'm reading. So I have a bag from Kinko's full of copies that you guys can take home. Okay, and this is, if you don't know an Irish Jack story, it's, you know, he's very idiosyncratic. He's got a way with words that I do not. Hello to all you Who crazies gathered out there in Los Angeles, you Who freaks, and those of you suffering from severe bouts of Who tinnitus, which I don't think is in the Who dictionary. I'm both honored and especially delighted to have Mark Wilkerson suggest, and I'm just going to say this now, I did not pay Irish Jack. And accept this message. As you all know, Mark is the author of the fabulously written Bible, Who Are You? The Life of Pete Townsend. And I didn't edit this either, by the way. And I'm truly honored to appear within its pages. The foreword is written by the loveliest man at my side of the unmade bed. His name is Eddie. He's talking about Eddie Vedder. Sorry. And he wears Charlie Bukowski amulets on one of his drinking jackets. He's a fine man, Eddie, so fine he could have been Irish. I wish to convey my love and best wishes to you all listening to this, to Mark for reading this in his finest Oxford grammar, where the bloody hell's Kit Lambert. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, so forget about that. I convey my love and best wishes to Carrie and Tom Pratt and Steve, who run the extraordinary site longliverock.org. Also to my friend Rob Lee of thewho.com, who much earlier invited me to work by his side at this VH1 event. That didn't come to fruition because I hardly ever packed more than 2 pairs of socks and I refused to travel by mule. I want you all to know that the last and only time I found myself in the City of Angels was to finish our book, The Who Concert File, with Joe McMichael. He had an apartment in West Hollywood, and his fucking dog ate my shoe and tried to choke himself on my shorts. I was only there for a week, so thankfully he never got to reduce to my 2 pairs of traveling socks. I don't even want to know what he smelled like after a week I had 2 pairs of socks. A strange thing happened to me in Los Angeles. I had read that Charlie Bukowski had been a local mailman. And being a mailman myself, I wanted to walk his route. I went to the local historical society and they'd never heard of him. They'd heard of Pete Townsend and Roger Daltrey, but not Bukowski. Not Charlie Bukowski. I went to the post office and they said, yeah, Bukowski's dead, man, but his route's still alive. Mike, do you have the photo? The first one? Yes. No, sorry. Before I went back to the relative safety of my family in court, Joe McMichael took photos of me in front of every LA venue that Who played down the years. And you can't see Irish Jack. I could have just found this in a box somewhere. He did send this to me. So here I am on this photo outside the Hollywood Palladium, a rundown joint where Keith Moon's friend, Viv Stanshall Smith's band, the Bonzo Dog Doo-Dah Band, supported the Who with Poco for the only time. When I got home, a friend sent me a book called Hank by Bukowski's friend, Neil Lee Tchaikovsky. There was a picture of Charlie's wife, Linda, and his daughter, Marina, outside their restaurant called the Dewdrop Inn in Redondo Beach, taken in 1978. And when I look closer at the photo there, on the front door, there's a full-size poster of Mayor Baba. I couldn't believe it. I looked under chairs, I looked under tables, and I couldn't find Bukowski, but there on a page in the most unlikeliest of places was Mayor Baba. Well done, Who, on your much-deserved recognition. Regards to everyone, and love one another, Irish Jack.